Once upon a midnight period, what was something in my head? I couldn't escape that.
Alright, here we go, section 5.1. Today we're talking about graphing coordinates, and we're going to be working with plotting points on a graph. Again, start of a chapter or start of a unit, and we really need to get some common definitions down so we can all speak the same language. Alright, Cartesian plane. It is a plane formed by two real number lines. That meet at a right angle. So really all that's saying is that we have two number lines that are going in infinite directions that, they go two opposite directions. So this one goes horizontal, this one goes vertical. Okay. The next thing that we have is a point. Okay. A point is simply a location on the plane. So we deal with what's called the Cartesian plane, and there are multiple planes that we're going to use throughout your math career, but the most common one that we use is the Cartesian plane, and it just goes infinite distance in all four directions, so up and down, left and right. A location is a simple spot. A point is a simple spot on that graph. All right, let's talk about some axes here. We have the x-axis, that is the horizontal axis. Okay, so this one over here, this one that goes in the horizontal direction, is our x-axis. We're not going to be putting anything else on this graph other than these labels for what it's made of. So you can feel free to write in this graph if you want to. All right, so the next one is the y-axis. That'll be the vertical axis. Vertical means up and down. So the vertical axis is here. That's the y-axis. And so we're going to be plotting points based on those x and y axes. The origin is the point where the axes meet. So right here, this point right here is where the two axes meet, and we say that that point has a location. First of all, it's the origin. It has the location of 0, 0. We're going to get more in depth as to what those location numbers mean, but for right now, let's just call it that. And the last thing that makes up this Cartesian plane are the quadrants. Now the quadrants are the four sections that make up the plane. So there are four sections that make up the plane. And we number them this way, and it's always been a mystery to me even why we number it this way, but we do. Okay, we have this first one up here. This will be quadrant 1. And we number them with Roman numerals, so it kind of looks like quadrant I, but it means quadrant 1. All points in this quadrant, okay, we describe points in XY pairs, okay, and all points in these quadrants have a positive X and a positive Y. I understand why that one's quadrant 1. That's where everything's positive, and it's all cool and good to go. The next one, okay, get out of here. The next one, we go counterclockwise, is over here, quadrant 2. So that's a double bar on that I-looking thing, Roman numeral 2. So quadrant 2, okay, and if you notice, the x direction went negative, it went to the left, so the x's are negative, and the y's still go up, so they're still positive. Okay, just like we we would assume up is positive and right is positive. Okay, down is negative and left is negative. Quadrant 3 is right below quadrant 2. So this is quadrant 3. Okay, quadrant 3. And so since this is left and down, that's where all these numbers live, that'll be a negative and a negative. Okay. And then this last one that's left is going to be quadrant 4. And that's an IV. And that has a positive x and a negative y. So the coordinates will be a plus and a minus. Okay. We're going to be tagging numbers on those coordinates here in a little bit, but I just wanted you to get an idea of what all these pieces that make up this plane are. So let's go ahead and look at how to plot points. You may know this. If so, I really hope so. But let's just get some ground rules here. So we're going to, number 1, start at the origin. No matter what kind of graph you draw, no matter what the scale is, the origin's always in the same spot. That's why we use that. So we're going to start at the origin. Step 2, we're going to move horizontally. Move horizontal. And I'm just going to say x units. Whatever the x value is of your point, that's how far you're going to move. Could be left, could be right, but horizontal is left and right. From there, we're going to move vertically. So step 3 is move vertically. We're going to move y units vertically. Those should be units. And then step 4 is plot the point. Okay, plot the point and label it. I'm going to put that on there because that's important. Could be a 5th step, but those 2 steps are pretty easy, so I'll just keep them together. All right. Now, let's go ahead and practice this on a couple points. Let's look at point A. We'll make that at -2, 3. And point B will be at 8, -10. All right. Usually when we're describing points, we don't say the comma, but it just keeps everybody straight on what we're doing. All right, let me zoom out a little bit so we can see here. So A is at -2, 3. I want to start at the origin. Okay, just keep in mind that A is at 2, 3 so we can zoom in on this graph. Okay, so I'm going to start at the origin and I move horizontally -2. That means backwards. So I'll go -1, -2, and then I'll move up 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'll plot my point. I would rather you not draw these little lines here, but if you have to start, it does help a little bit. And so that's point A. If you remember, point B is at 8, -10. So 8 is in the positive direction, so I'll move 8. And that's right there. And then down 10. Well, the graph's only 10 units big, so 8, -10 will be right there. And that's point B. Okay, if you have to draw those lines, you can, but eventually you'll get to a point where you don't have to. Now I want you to practice this. You're going to put 3 more points on this same graph. So here it says your turn. I want you to write the following coordinates. C being at 5, 3. D is at -2, -7. And E is at -9, 0. Okay, so C, D, and E. Go ahead and pause the video and put those coordinates on there. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you had a chance to do those. Let's go ahead and look at it. Okay, we're going to zoom back in on the graph so we can see what we're doing. This graph is pretty small. Sorry if you have to get a magnifying glass out to see. It'll work though. The first point is at 5, 3. So that should be right here. That's point C. Point D is at -2 and -7. Should be right here. Point D. And then E is at -9, 0. Okay, 0 meaning we do not go up or down any. Okay? And that's point E. So those are the points that I asked you to graph. Again, hopefully you had a chance to get those done. Let's go ahead and turn the page. And we'll zoom out a little bit. So now we're going to focus a little bit on naming coordinates and quadrants. So I have 5 points plotted, or wait, that's 6 points, thank you. 6 points on one of them, and I think there's 7 on the next one. Yeah. Okay, we're going to name those points and tell what quadrant they're in. Remember, up here we have Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. We can abbreviate quadrants as Q1, 2, 3, and 4, so we don't have to write out quadrant every time because, we like to make things a little bit quicker. All right, so let's look at point A. Well, where is that point A? It's right up there. So let's count over how far we go. We can just use the numbers on the bottom. That looks like it's at -7 and then up to 8. So A is at -7, 8. Now what quadrant is that in? Okay, that's in quadrant 2 right there. So we're just going to say A is in Q2. B. And B is over here. It looks like, well, first of all, it's in quadrant 1. But I kind of just draw a line down here to figure out what this is. That's a 5. And that looks like a 7 there. So it's at 5, 7. Oop, over here. 5, 7. And that's in Q1. Because they're both positive, it's in Q1. So C is down here in the bottom left in quadrant 3. And it looks like it's at, -6 and another -6. Okay, so we say that C is at -6, -6. Both negative, that puts it in quadrant 3. By the end of this, and with a little bit of practice, you should be able to know what quadrant points are in based on their signs. And you wouldn't have to graph it. It makes life a lot easier. Point D. That's -4, +2. We go back 4 and up 2. Okay? -4, +2. Since the first one's negative, second one's positive, that puts it in quadrant 2. Okay? Let's look at point E. Point E is, well, it's right on one of the lines. Okay, well, we should be able to figure that out. How far do I go left or right? Well, I don't go left or right any, I just go straight down. Okay, and that's down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So E is at -5 on the y-axis. I didn't move any left or right, so that makes x 0. So the x-coordinate is 0, and then we went down 5. Okay, here to name the quadrant, well, it's not in one quadrant. It's on the axis. Okay, whenever it's on an axis, we can just say that it is on the y-axis. Okay, we don't have a quadrant for something that's in the middle. And the last point, point F. F is over here. It's at +7, -5 again. So +7, -5. So 7, 5, -5. Sorry. Okay. When something's a positive and a negative, that puts it in quadrant 4. IV. Put lines over it. Okay, that's IV. That's quadrant 4. All right, now it's your turn. I want you to go ahead and pause the video and label all these points and get them done. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you had a chance to get that. We have quite a few points on this graph, and we're going to be doing the same thing. Okay, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Where's point A? Okay, well, point A is at -6, +4. -6, 4. That puts it in quadrant 2. B is at -2, +3. -2, 3, still in quadrant 2. C is up here. Okay, it's on this line. We don't go left or right any, but we go up 8. So 0 left or right, but up 8. Again, that's on the y-axis. So you should have y-axis there. D, it looks like it's at +7 and +6. So 7, 6. And that's in quadrant 1. They're both positive. And that's where the good numbers live. E, well, that's at -4, -4. And since they're both negative, those are the bad numbers, and they live in quadrant 3. F is at +3, -2. So 3, -2. And that's in quadrant 4. IV. And G is at, looks like +6, -4. And that's also in quadrant 4. Okay, that's all we have for today. Hopefully you got those problems done. All I want you to do now is do the practice problems, the application problems, and good luck on that mastery check or mastery challenge. Good luck out there. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, for the after video entertainment for this unit, we're going to be looking at the top 5, at least in my opinion, of the kid snippets videos. Now there's a whole YouTube channel dedicated to this, and very funny. Love watching them after class. Basically, the idea is kids have a conversation, and then the adults try to recreate that conversation in a real life scenario. So let's start off. Number 5 is hunting. I hope you enjoy.
I think it's already starting. What should I wear to go hunting? This? Yeah. We're gonna hunt for bugs. Put on your knuckles to try to see a tarantula. I don't see one. Ah, there's a bug! Where? Right there. Yep. We're not looking for that bug. We're looking for tarantulas. Oh. Is that a tarantula? No, that's a centipede. I think. No, that's a tarantula. Oh. How do you kill it? Oh, I get it. Oh, look, there's a reindeer. Oh, let's go shoot it. Ah, no, it might be magic. Do you speak reindeer? Yeah. What is that reindeer saying to us? Let me see. It's saying hello. Oh. What are you doing here? And talk. How do you say we're hunting? Oh. What did the reindeer say when we were hunting? it said that that it would help us. Wait, we're gonna help the reindeer? No, the reindeer was gonna help us for tarantulas. Is that a tarantula? Shoot it with your bow and arrow. I think it is. Well, that was creepy. We're good hunters. It's not Christmas yet. Oh, but I thought you said there was reindeers. I think they can fly in the forest. Yes, they can.